All right, getting all set up here, getting everything shared out. Good morning, everybody. Just getting this shared out to everybody, and should be good to go. Oh, free ride. Whew, take this moment. That'll work. All right. Got 1 minute to go. What's up, Pete? Morning, Kenneth. No event. Trying to get on. Doing some work. Morning, Nadia. How's it going? Get some video going here. All right, a couple shares left. I'll be right back. Let's see where else we're going today. Got some cool video of the Colorado Classic. For those interested, should be pretty interesting. About a week behind, so you know, what you do? I think it'll be good. 20 seconds. Oh man, I'm gonna make it. Paste. 14 seconds. Post. Post. 3 seconds. Oh, here we go. Hit lap on the Garmin. There we go. Rock and roll. 360. A long time. Really gotta pace it. Really gotta take it easy. We'll get my mug off the face here in a minute. And, give some space. Some good rides. Nice job, Nadia. Make sure you eat. All right, just about there. Looking good. Stream looks strong. Welcome everybody on board. Today we're doing 874. 874. That's VO2 max. 8 minutes on, 7 minutes off, times 4. We're taking a look and checking out the Colorado Classic. We'll bring that up right now.
So if I had to give 3 words to describe racing Colorado, it would be radical home crowds.
Rad. Righteous. Home.
It's awesome to be in front of you know, our home crowds in our home country racing. We don't get to do it very often. And just to have the opportunity to race on familiar roads. I'm not from Colorado, but I did live here 9 years in Boulder, so I know all these routes, and I know the race really well, and I know a lot of people here. My friends and family are out, so it's, for me, it's one of the best races of the year.
It'll be a really interesting race. First stage was all rain. No skipping, Nadia. Here you go. Here's the ladies' race. Motivate you.
Please, Colorado!
Alright, this name is known worldwide.
Keep the line.
2, 1. Woo! Let's hear it, ladies. Anybody else have goosebumps?
Is the women's race, stage 1, Colorado Classic. Well, the traffic is really bad. I mean, the weather, it looks pretty good. Maybe for the men's race. I heard they had to bring down the satellite feed. We'll see. Whew, that's fast. Roberto Duran. You got him?
Julie Dusslier, the vice president. We got yellow. Right here on
Oh, there's the rain. Wow, crazy climb.
Let's hear it for John Murphy. 93 miles today, ladies and gentlemen.
1 minute.
Bienvenue sur le court résumé de la première étape du Colorado Classic qui remplace en quelque sorte le Tour du Colorado. Une première étape à Colorado Springs avec donc 6 tours de
to get on terms. It's been all resistance. He's still in position for a great stage finish, and he's still in contention for the stage today.
Yeah, certainly still in contention, but he really needs to react to Stettiner and House coming here now. Get on the wheels. Don't take any turns with these guys. Just basically follow the wheels and hope that these two who are clearly riding for general classification now, let them drag you into the finish and see whether you can actually finish this off again. Because no doubt, House and Stettiner have worked really hard to get across to Eisenhardt, so they will be feeling this as well. Maybe not quite to the extent that Eisenhardt is right now, but it certainly won't have fresh legs coming into the finish.
Yeah, well, House is going to do the work on the front. Stettiner did so much of the work on that climb to make it difficult and to stretch themselves clear of the other riders in the group, and this is the second chase group on the road.
Bookwalter has a go.
Yeah, Brent Bookwalter of the BMC squad has decided that enough is enough. He's going to try and thin this one out, but well, they're not so far behind, but it's still a long way. And can they get back in contention? I wouldn't bet on it. Hugh Carthy.
I'm not sure that is Bookwalter, actually.
Could it be Elmiger?
Could be.
Elmiger was well to the fore early on. Certainly BMC have riders that have come here to race, and Emmanuel Senni among them, because he's in front.
No, it is.
It is indeed Bookwalter, yeah. Hugh Carthy in there as well. Benito possibly in that group. So behind now the racing starts to happen, and Stettiner fires the first salvo, and Alex Howes has to make a big effort, and Eisenhardt's able to cover it, covers the first attack. If he gets to the descent, he still has a racer's chance. Stettiner goes again from the front, and he only knows one way.
Hey, morning, Mitch.
Yeah, he's only got one opportunity here, really.
Welcome. This is stage 2 of the Colorado Classic. This is the break.
Going to the line, but yeah, House really struggled to get on top of that one, turning on.
Morning, everybody.
Gear indeed, and had to work very hard to bridge that 5-meter gap.
We're watching stage 2
with
the Colorado Classic.
Took stage victory in this USA Pro Challenge back in 2014. It's clearly a race, or at least a part of the world that he likes to compete in. Behind, Sepp Kuss is trying to distance Manuel Senni and get back up to the riders. So 3 riders chasing 3 riders.
It's not over yet.
8:74. 8:74. 8 minutes on, 7 minutes off. VO2 max. 8:74.
More than 10 or 12 riders after what's been carnage. Absolutely fabulous stuff. What a great course. They're going to use this one again. Certainly this Moonstone Road. And look, it's Eisenhardt is gone. Eisenhardt refuses to resist, and Eisenhardt has attacked Alex Howes, and Stettiner's not able to react. Stettiner did so much of the work. 4 kilometers remaining. Eisenhardt is an attacking rider. He knows only one way. We saw this in the Tour of Utah last week, and we've seen it over the years, over recent years.
Crazy.
US racing.
Crazy attack.
Eisenhardt is a rider with some heart, doesn't he? He's got some great.
Look at that move.
Pushes them from the back, and he got a free pass to follow the attacks. How's it was that had to cover the first one, which made a lot of sense. But it's now Eisenhardt who's decided on the attack, and
I crop out everything else. Morning, Jack. What are you doing up this morning at 4:30? So the way I isolated it was I bring in Zwift, then I crop everything else out, and that's it. Pretty simple, actually.
Complicated descents, aren't they? They're very different in character and style to sort of Alpine or Pyrenean descents that you might be used to watching.
Thanks for joining us, Jack. For the live action here, the workout.
Or even just on holidays, but the US racing and US descents, very different in style.
We're coming into the final corner here. We've got 3K to go. With the final turn, it's that right-hander, 90-degree right-hander, and I think as long as you take that first, you got a good chance of winning this stage. And I think certainly looking at the acceleration from Eisenhardt,
you do it 2 ways.
Some punch in his legs.
You can right-click on the sources.
And Alex Howes will
you do it through transform,
holding Eisenhardt
or you can
Yeah, he's full of fun.
Right
what
click
an amazing performance
and
by
under
TJ Eisenhart out front
properties
distance
and add a filter. Actually add a filter that will crop it also. There's two ways to do it.
For a little while, they could do nothing about hanging on to this rider, and now
I don't know if you could do it without Nadia.
The bike anywhere he wants on the road. Behind Peter Stenman,
just keeping the good stuff on the screen, right?
As he picks a line through the corners.
A lot of reason why a lot of the athletes in the endurance lab use their Garmin.
I think Eisenhart just did
Man, look at these guys go.
Getting onto the wheel of Alex Howes and then try and anticipate that corner, hit him before the corner with a big attack and then go through that last right-hander. If he's cool now and just waits and lets Alex Howes do the majority of the work, or all of the work ideally, all the way into about 100 meters before that right-hander.
Yeah, do they take the risk of Peter Stenman getting back in there?
Look at this.
From Eisenhart's point of view, yes. He doesn't really have to worry too much about Peter Stettin's sprinting ability. So from Eisenhart, this is more a question of winning the stage, letting Alex Howes take all of the work going into the final couple of 100 meters, and then making that
huge turn.
We got 1 kilometer to go there, just under the Flamme Rouge.
1K to go.
It's Alex Howes, the best young rider in this race, ahead of one of the other best young riders, TJ Eisenhart, just 23 years of age,
Mitch.
from Utah.
Sleep, bro. Get some rest today.
That he can hold off.
And we will always move things around.
TJ Eisenhart for the stage victory. The chase is behind. Big moment for Kuss, and he goes down off the wheel of Manuel Sen. He's up quickly.
Just rolled the tub.
Yep,
He's just rolled it in the tubular tyre. He can't get that one back on again. It doesn't matter how much he puts the chain back on, because that tyre is done.
Oh, yeah.
It's just a panic, isn't it, for Sepp Kuss? And I think that corner worker is probably making a good point. That's not a great place to be, because it's easy to... Let's pick it up front. Stettin is almost on terms. Howes is going to lead them into this final turn. Will Eisenhart try and pinch it before they get into the turn? No, he's going to let Howes lead it out. Howes looks over his shoulder. Eisenhart waits to pounce. Howes is going to have to go first to try and get on top of the gear. Here comes Eisenhart around the outside. Can Eisenhart get to? Howes is going to try and hold him off inside the last 50 meters. It's Alex Howes that gets the famous victory on stage 2 of the Colorado Classic, ahead of TJ Eisenhart, who I think will probably get most aggressive rider of the day. But look what that means to Alex Howes. Up for third was Peter Stettin, and Manuel Seni had a great day for BMC as well. It's going to get up for a fine 4th place finish, and I tell you what, the riders are going to be coming in for a long time in 1s and 2s, because that's a great racing course. Sergei Dvetsov is keeping himself in the
morning, Justin.
For the remaining 2 stages.
You're up early, getting ready? Oh, 5:15, 30 minutes. Not too early.
He's not quite able to stay with the others on what's been a fascinating stage. Great win for Alex Howes.
Thanks for coming on.
And got on the gear
Keep me honest.
Yeah, he opened up the
sprint.
This
is a tough one.
When you're this tired
not easy.
And you've worked so hard, then it's most of the time the acceleration that's the difficulty. The riders kind of have the same speed in their legs. It's all about if you make that acceleration, you get on top of the gear first. It's incredibly difficult to come around and actually get on top of the gear and overtake the rider. So Alex Howes did the right thing. He went through that corner first. He opened up the sprint first, and with that ended up taking the stage win.
Yeah, and Alex Howes, of course, is a native Coloradan, so it is a home victory in the 2nd stage of the Colorado Classic. They're sprinting for the minor positions as Brent Bookwalter puts a little bit of daylight between himself and the riders in the group. But what about that? Minor positions at this moment, over 1.5 minutes behind. And absolutely ecstatic, overjoyed. Alex Howes as well, he might be.
Rollers.
All right.
Issues, that's never good. And then also make her climb. But Katie, what do you think about today? Finally, Ready for short? Please make your way in a line here.
Yeah, that could be good.
I don't know.
Tough day.
Good. 1 minute to the start. Guys, remember there is no neutral.
Wow, no neutral.
Heads up.
A minute.
Dude, so awesome.
You can see.
Can I get a hug? Dude.
We have a group of 5 riders coming on the way.
Yeah.
Thanks for everybody jumping on, checking out, catching up on the Colorado Classic 2017. Good morning, Joss. Thanks for everybody jumping on. We got 2 intervals left.
You got it! You're gonna kill it! You're gonna kill it!
Crazy workout. 31 minutes left.
Tutta picchiata sino al passaggio sulla linea d'arrivo. E questo è il piazzamento in classifica dei 5 inseguitori.
Let's see.
Attualmente faremo dei conti, ottime
That is.
in testa alla classifica, l'ha presa un po' larga.
L'ha presa tutta,
sì.
con una fortissima velocità, bravo House a non farsi sorprendere.
Some pretty big moves here.
I corridori arrivano anche a 80 km orari.
Eccoli qua i 2 battistrada, difficoltà per a questo punto per Peter Stetina e Alex House in classifica con un ritardo di 10 secondi anche lui e avanti di
Crazy downhill speeds. There's 2 riders in the break. Second rider here made a huge attack on the final crest of the hill to get these 2 riders over. Crazy speeds coming downhill to the final 1500 here.
Se si aggiudica la volata e i 2 vanno a pari tempo 10, 6, anzi no, sono un somaro, ma sono un somaro con
i conti,
con la
i
matematica, perché gli avanti al traguardo sono 10 e 6 secondi per il primo e il secondo, per cui House ne prende 4 in più rispetto al suo collega Eisenhardt, che ne ha però 6 in più presi lungo la strada. Eisenhardt è avanti di 2, ha ottime chance a questo punto se anche non vince la volata. Attenzione, scivolata mal destra che stava per falciare un po' anche Manuel Senni, che errore banale, però.
Sì, è partito il posteriore, difficoltà, adesso non ha capito che è sceso il tubolare dal cerchio, sta cercando di tirare sulla catena. Siamo ormai già all'interno dell'ultimo chilometro, Stetina che sta cercando
The final 300. It's pretty impressive here. Watches the second rider. Just pacing him.
A questo punto per 2 piccoli secondi
He pulls the trigger.
va a vincere, ma è scatenato.
Gets on top of the gear. Final 100.
Serrata molla alla fine, la vittoria di Alex House.
He had him at 100.
Secondo posto Eisenhardt.
Solid.
Quest'oggi al Giro del Colorado, podio di tappa interamente statunitense. Al terzo posto si va a piazzare Peter Stetina, buon quarto comunque Manuel, se li è fatti sfuggire proprio in vista del GPM, chiude quarto a una ventina di secondi e risale decisamente nell'alta classifica il corridore di Cesenatico.
Cekov che sta arrivando, mentre per quanto riguarda il corridore...
Thanks for everybody joining in. We got stage 3 coming up. Should have stage 3 coming up.
Flea market happening here. Looking for the sign in. Not quite sure where it is.
Ah, there he is.
Hello, check 1 2 1 2 1 2. This is Tyler.
You boxed it.
Joining us on stage now are on Taylor. You're just going to end up. Where's your video going to end up?
Ballon.
Ballon. Oh, fantastic. Taylor, you guys are looking pretty good.
Well, there's some bonus sprints today. There's some time bonuses. Alex just needs a second to move into the overall lead, so we're going to try to take it to the butterfly.
Taylor, have a great day out there. All right, thank you, Janelle. At this time, start.
Good morning, Kristen. Thanks for joining in.
Chad Young. He rides with the action.
Let's see if we can get some racing going. Got a minute 30 till the next interval. We got 2 left. Legs are feeling pretty tired right here. See how we do. Oh, nice.
Pila que el otro día llevaba la cámara.
So we
Check 1 2 1 2 1 2. This Taylor.
Where is this going to end up? Where's your video going to end up?
Bellon.
Bellon. Oh, fantastic. Have a great day out there.
All right, thank you, Janelle Star and Chad Young. He rides with the Action Hockey moment. Janelle, top one. 3, 2, 1. Stage 3 of the Colorado Classic here in Drake Rhino.
Allez, boys, good luck, huh? Good luck.
Here we go. It's easy.
When you go out of the asphalt again, you clean the tires with the hand, clean the tires when you're on the asphalt again. Huh?
Oh, wow.
How's it going, Denver?
Up. Oh god, crazy shot.
Yesterday's Queen stage of the Colorado Classic in Breckenridge punished the riders with 10 laps up and over the Moonstone Road climb. Team Hollow Esco's TJ Eisenhart went on an early attack and spent his day in the breakaway. He was enjoying the ride of his life before Colorado native Alex House finally caught him on the final lap and timed his sprint to perfection to take an emphatic win. They are fighting all the way to the finish line, but no, it's going to be Alex House. He gets it very, very easily. For his efforts, the 23-year-old Eisenhart now sits in blue as the new race leader. But just 1 second separates him from Alex House, who is not giving up.
It's on.
Stage 3 from Denver is next. It's day 3 of the inaugural Colorado Classic here, presented by Drink Rhino in the heart of Denver. That is downtown Denver. Today's stage, 79.5 miles of racing. My name's Paul Schoen. Alongside me is Christian van der Velve, and today's route, as the riders are already out on the course, took us away from Denver this morning.
They've already been racing flat out right from the start, going through the first sprint points, out on the flat roads, trying to separate themselves from the peloton, going for that elusive breakaway, going up north on 93, a little bit of crosswind. We saw weaving a little bit of crashes there. Then they finally take a left on Cold Creek Canyon, start climbing up this big climb. Take another left on Twin Spruce, up through Gap Road, the climb. This is where the riders are, right there went through the feed zone. Then they'll hit the second KOM. Riders be going up and down, maybe even hitting a little bit of dirt roads, going through Golden Gate Canyon. Then they'll finally go back down the hill, pick up a little bit of a tailwind, hit that big sprint points. Hopefully Alex Howes can get that 1 second to tie himself and actually take the lead off of TJ Eisenhart.
Yes, well, before we go back to the real action, let's just remind ourselves of what happened earlier on this morning. 91 riders, the survivors of this year's Colorado Classic, moved away. They faced up to around about a 2-mile neutralized section to get themselves away from town and out onto the open road. And as soon as they did, the sprint point on the horizon was extremely important. After 6 miles, it was all about trying to get time bonuses. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, and 1 second available.
That's right, and then there was impressive defense right there on the left-hand side by the Holowesko Citadel team, with Travis McCabe, Narvaez, and John Murphy from Holowesko Citadel taking that 1 point from Alex Howes.
Yes, but out on the road, the slight crosswinds caused a dramatic crash to a rider from Vinny Fratini. That's Yuma Koshi who went down there, and it really was all about a little touch of wheels.
Yeah, Yuma Koshi's checking his 6 right there, ultimate no-no. Then Gregory Daniel coming across his wheel, taking him out. Going down hard on a big, wide, open road. Never look behind you, especially in the crosswinds.
But as they started to get themselves into the mountains onto Gap Road, and they had the first King of the Mountains point, a second category climb over the summit of Gap Road, it was Marco Canola in the orange jersey of Italy getting himself a maximum of 8 points. Chetkov in the second place for 7 points, and Peter Stettiner in third place. As we now join the action, a little bit of rain starting to come down. We're looking at a 5-man leading group, and an interesting leading group as well, because in this group, Sergei Chetkov is one of the best placed riders overall. Peter Stettiner second at the start of the day. John O'Clark in there for United Healthcare, and in there as well, Valerio Conti. The weather conditions currently 85 degrees Fahrenheit, 9 miles an hour winds, wind coming in from a west-southwest, but we are hearing that a little bit later on in the day, we could be suffering from some electrical storms. That's Peter Stettiner there in the orange jersey of First Bank, the most aggressive rider of yesterday, and he sits well up in the overall standings after finishing in third place overall yesterday. Now, he's the man who really needs to turn the books around in a move like this. There's a group of around about 22 riders chasing behind, but this is somebody just moving away. It looks like a rider from BMC Racing.
Zika Manoseni going up the road, attacking right there, look like right out of the feed zone. But back to Pete Stettiner. Pete Stettiner is only 11 seconds behind their overall general classification. So right now, he's a leader on the road.
Yes, he is, and you can see the green jerseys on the front. So that, in fact, is Rigoberto Urán in first position. Just 2 weeks ago, he's trailed by his teammate Hugh Carthy there, the rider from Preston in the north of England. In fourth position in the Drink Rhino sprint competition, there you can see was the man Italian here on Team BMC Racing, because Christian, in my marking here, he's ridden across a gap of around about 20 seconds.
Gap, you know that Pete Stettiner is pushing a big gear right now, making sure that gap is as big as possible, making sure that the Canada team is completely on the ropes going up these hills.
Yes, well, Manuel Stettiner starts today in 6th place overall, just looking for 32 seconds. So, interestingly enough, in this group right now, Christian, we've got 3rd place overall at the start of the day, 5th place and 6th place. So this is a serious move to try and overturn the overall standings. You can see the dark skies in the background, and just sitting on the front end of the saddle there, I would think that was a massive effort to get across this gap, which we believe is between 30 to 40 seconds to the group behind.
Look at Senny, he's in the big gear. I mean, he's in the big chain ring. Actually, a lot of those guys are still in the big chain ring, so it just tells you how fast these guys are going. Look at those dark skies. But we're sure the rain is coming down. Obviously, it's really wet right now, still on the roads. I'm not sure of where they are exactly. Look at it. It's Rigoberto on the front there, full gas right now. Cannondale's been doing a ton of work out there today, doing a fantastic job. Rigoberto Urán, the man who got second place in the Tour de France just a few weeks ago.
Well, he's not riding for himself. In fact, he's riding for the rider in 4th position there in that sort of grey jersey of Drink Rhino. That is Alex House. Right behind Alex House in the pale blue Gates leader's jersey is TJ Eisenhart, who did a fantastic ride. There's Taylor Sheldon just getting tailed off the back a little bit. Now, I would put that, Christian, at
Trek Segafredo, those are the two guys that I'd be looking for that sprint.
Well, Sergei Chekhov in 6th place overall at the start of the day has powered over the top of that climb. We're now looking at about 32 miles to go to the finish. Earlier this morning, the Arrow Electronics semi-autonomous motor car, or the SAM car, was on display at the start line. The Colorado-based global technology company Arrow Electronics created the SAM car for the former race car driver Sam Schmidt, who was left paralyzed from the chest down after a racing accident in the year 2000. The Arrow Electronics SAM car will also serve as the official pace car for the Colorado Classic Para-Athlete race. I have to tell you, Christian, it is an amazing vehicle as well. It works and is maneuvered by head movement and voice control. And I think we could do with some of that out on the road now. There we can just about see, as we pull back a little bit, there are the two leaders. Now this is Sergei Chekhov on the left-hand side in the white jersey, Jelly Belly, and in the red and black jersey wearing number 6, that's Manuel Senna. They've got an interesting advantage now as they start to collaborate well together. Is inside of the race, and he's been sharing his video diaries with us. Here's the next installment.
What's up, babies? Coming at you live from the glam life. Having my pre-race meal, rice and eggs, put some pumpkin seeds in there, brags, amino acids.
Oh my gosh, Taylor.
Eating by myself again seems to be a trend. Alex House, the winner of the stage yesterday. We did a full team effort to try to make that happen, so it's always super rad when a plan comes together, and we're all very proud of Housey. Today we have a race that goes really close to my home in Boulder, Colorado. We go up Gap Road, which is a really steep climb, dirt section on the top, up and down, pretty nasty. We're looking to take some time away from TJ. There's a couple bonus sprints with time bonuses, so that's our plan today. Ciao.
Well, not very far away from home. In fact, he spends most of his time in Boulder, Colorado. These are the two leaders. Now, if they stay clear at the moment, Christian, as we look here at Manuel Senna and Sergei Chekhov, they're going to take away the big favorite for us. And if it all could come back together towards the end, he would be a rider who would have a very good chance of winning the stage. And before the start this morning, Bob Roll caught up with him.
Travis, you were sprinting really well on stage number 1 and also climbing great on stage number 2. How do you see today's stage playing into your talents?
Yeah, I think today's going to suit me really well. It's going to be hard. It's going to be fast. That climb, from what I've been told, is pretty dang steep towards the end there. But after yesterday, I'm pretty confident in my climbing abilities, and I think it'll lead, it'll kind of weed out the other sprinters like John Murphy, who nipped me at the line the first day. So I'm really looking forward to it. I think guys to watch today would be myself, Marco Canola from Nipo Vantini, riders like Logan Owen, and then also Alex. You know, they're hungry. They're going for the win today. They want that jersey, and with only 1 second really separating them between TJ, it's going to be a battle, I think, all day long.
I was going to ask you about the GC so tight. How do you see that affecting the way the stage plays out?
I think it's gonna, again, you know, this new Velorama dynamic of the race is gonna just change everything. It's a short race, it's a hard
into the advantage advantage of those two leaders, we could see a change, and the two riders in the leading group could end up being first and second in the overall standings tonight. Now, it's going to be a little bit complicated to throw in the calculations of the time bonuses, but if those two leaders, Christian, hang on to around about 30 seconds advantage, we'll have a new leader tonight.
I just really have to ask myself why not Alex Howes isn't on the front right now. I mean, you're thinking you're saving for that bonus sprint of getting third place in 4 seconds. Who cares about 4 seconds? You need to get on the front, everyone working together. If you're bringing back 10, 15 seconds, that's a lot better than the 4 seconds, even if you lose that sprint.
Oh, look at the face on this man here. Rode the Olympic Games last year, and as you can see, 28 years of age, he really is coming to the prime of his form, and he's still got a very supple pedaling style. These guys, they're grasping now, Christian. They're going to take lots of risks going around these corners. I have to say, you always have to watch out for those white lines when you come into downtown areas, anywhere in the world, whether it's in the United States or whether it's on the four corners of Europe.
Sergey giving a flick of the elbow to have Senni pull through. Again, you can barely get by him as he's pulling through. Now they're in downtown Denver. They've made their way very rapidly right downtown, averaging right around 60 kilometers an hour for the last 20K.
Well, I keep looking up at the clock, Christian. It keeps telling me the gap is a minute advantage for these two riders. They really have to throw out all of the sandbags now. They've got to do the best that they can to conserve at least 30 seconds.
Last one.
It would appear to me that the rider on the front there, Manuel Senna, is going to get himself the overall lead. And I'm sure that's why he's absolutely burying himself right now. But even so, when you look at Sergei Chetkov in the white jersey of Jelly Belly, there's a little signal. I think these two riders, Christian, they know they've done something this afternoon. They've done, oh, look at the gap starting to appear there. Senna is doing everything that he can to hold on to the wheel here of the flying Romanian.
Well, every time Sergey gets to the front, he's up in the tempo by at least a kilometer, 2, 3, 4 kilometers per hour, 2.5 miles an hour. It's very impressive at these kind of speeds to be able to up it, especially this late in the game.
Oh, Chris, I mean, you've ridden a bike at this level, but just tell me, look at the body language of Senna there, whereas we go a little bit further back, you can see it is, I think it's scramble on board of Cannondale Drapek. They realize today they've been caught out. Tactically, they are against the rings. They're trying to pull this race all back together, but as you said, too little, too late. And that on the front there is Hugh Carthy in the second position, right behind Rigoberto Urán. Imagine what it must feel like to Alex Howes to have a guy like Rigoberto Urán doing the pacemaking for him. But I think I agree with you. Alex Howes should come to the front now, and Rigoberto Urán, he pulls off there, back with the two leaders. Look at the way Senna is bouncing on that gear.
No, Senna's dying, sitting right behind him. Look at Sergey continues to go up there and distance himself every time he pulls through. But at least Senna still is pulling through every time. But I have to say, like, after that last sprint that Alex Howes won, got that second, so he should have been pulling right after that. Get together with your teammates, get together with whoever's going to pull from Trek Segafredo, whoever is left of there, and start working together.
Well, you know, the strength of the power of Cannondale Drapek behind really is quite amazing, but just looking at the speed of these guys, Christian, they are coming into town there. They're probably not far inside of 30 miles an hour.
Sergey's taking no prisoners going through these wet corners either. He's been pretty much leading through all the technical bits and pieces. There hasn't been too much. Okay, these are big boulevards coming into Denver, but I have to tell you, Paul, since Golden, I don't think you could have driven your car as fast as those guys did coming into downtown Denver.
Well, that looks like the orange jersey of the First Bank most aggressive rider, Peter Stettner, on the front now, trying to peg back the final few seconds, trying to protect his position in the overall standings. But still, it's these two riders. Senna, look at his mouth, wide open as he can. And I tell you, just a fraction inside of 6,000 feet, he's got his mouth that wide open to try and get as much oxygen as possible into his body to transmit right down to those legs of his. Oh, and the acceleration, I tell you what, Sergei Chetkov, he still looks very fluid. He's still got the power and the acceleration. Oh.
I hate to laugh again, but just look at how much pain he's going through, just staying on the wheel of Sergey Chetkov. You know, sometimes I admire the way that Sergey's riding with this guy, but sometimes I start thinking about, I know they probably have a deal going that they're working together and they're in it together, but it's a gentleman's agreement, but I think I'd start attacking Senna if I knew that I was that much stronger.
Well, you never know in a situation like this, Christian, because it's still hovering around the 1 minute margin. And these two riders, well, they've got to think about two things at a situation like this. Yes, they want to try and win the stage. One of them wants to cross the line in first place, but they've also got to conserve as much of their time advantage as possible because they're turning the books in the overall standings. And we are looking at a new leader in the Colorado Classic today. It's pretty much certain going to go to the rider in the red-black jersey of BMC. They're swinging it round this next corner. They've got another corner to go, and they will swing into the finishing straight. Sergei Chechkov there in second position. He's going to wait until he sees the banner right in front of him. Then that's the moment I expect him to open up his sprint. This is the finishing straight right now. Oh, look at that, Christian. I'm pretty sure there's a little chat going on between these two riders, but they escaped at around about 32 miles to go to the finish. That's over the last hour and a half of racing, and still waiting to pick up the acceleration. Sergei Chechkov licking his lips now because he knows he's got to get himself the victory. There's big daylight between these two riders, and I'm going to have to say I'm going to have to start my clock manually here this afternoon to try and figure out what is the time getting back to the third place rider on the road. Chechkov now getting out of the saddle, and he's in fact starting to put air between himself and the other rider with him, Senna. Senna cannot even stay in the slipstream as the rider from Jelly Belly and Romania gets himself the victory. Manuel Sella across the line in second place. Christian, I've got the clock going. If it goes over the 30 to 35 seconds, we will now have a new leader, but look at the face of the winner.
Impressive ride by those two, flying down the descent after attacking on that last KOM, taking those last KOM. Let's not forget that he's also going to get the jersey for the KOM sprint, but there's Alex House in second position, trying to take down as much time as possible. I think it's too little too late. It's been too little too late for the last 20 kilometers, Paul.
Yeah, well, that's Alex House in the lime green jersey, in second position in a white jersey, charging around on the right-hand side there in the blue jersey. That's Travis McCabe. He's from United Healthcare. He's trying to get himself third place, and he's also trying to get himself points in the Drink Rhino sprint point competition there. He's out of the saddle once again, and they've been swept away there, as you can see that Travis McCabe coming up to get himself a third place on the left-hand side there. Looks like Kiel Reinen, and swept away in the sprint there. I think, Christian, just looking down at the clock there, that's 54 seconds. The difference between the first rider to cross the line and this main group there is Alex House in the grey jersey there of Drink Rhino. Well, I mean, 10 kilometers, 15 kilometers ago, he was dreaming of taking the overall leadership. That's gone right out of this window.
It's pretty sad to see that go away from coming out, slip right through his fingers. I mean, you think about just what you were saying earlier, we never pictured this scenario happening this morning. We thought of all the different other scenarios happening. We never thought that this guy right there, Sergei Chechkov, was going to go off the front with Manuel Senna. Have almost a minute advantage coming to the line. And let's not forget about those time bonuses, 10, 6, and 4. Travis McCabe taking the 4 seconds. That doesn't matter anything for him. But these two riders, that's just going to add that buffer, putting them back up into the podium position. Senna's going to take the jersey. This band will be in second. I think Alex House is going to be in third place.
You gotta talk about stage 2. Yeah. You're on this like. Don't crash, Danny.
Selfie stick, so you can catch. This is Manuel Senni of BMC Pro Racing. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh man, so happy for you, but great.
There's 1, 2, and 3. Sergey Tetkov and Alex Howes, 1, 2, and 3 for the 2017 Classics are being presented with Drink Rider Growlers by Ken Garth, the chair of RPM Events Group, and David.
All right. A full stage. Pass on that.
Grey skies that have affected this race over the last.
Oh man. Thanks for joining in. Definitely tough workout for everyone in the endurance lab. Definitely take your time. You do this workout. Stay focused. Pick your playlist. Pick your poison accordingly. 8 minutes. Pace it out. Get your Garmin set up. Get all your fields right up. I've got 3 seconds. Got my lap power. My lap time. Definitely helps. Keep pace with the Zwift. The Zwift setup only giving us 1 second. Power, it's kind of tough to keep on track. So thanks for everybody joining in. See everybody back in the lab. Have a great day.